All right, you guys, so I've got something super special for you guys. So I know y'all have probably seen tons of reviews on this car, but I can guarantee you've never seen a more accurate living with review than you're gonna see right now on this brand new 2019 McLaren 570S, and I get it for 4 entire days. Let's check it out. So yes, you guys, you heard it right. 4 entire days with a 2019 570S Spider. This is absolutely incredible. Now, I know the 570S is sort of old news at this point, but who wouldn't say yes to taking a supercar for 4 days? I'm so blessed, I'm so thankful, and I'm so thankful for you guys for watching my channel. If it weren't for you, this channel wouldn't be anything and I wouldn't get these opportunities. So this video is just for you guys. So the exciting part is that not many people get to experience or even drive one of these things, let alone keep it in your garage for 4 entire days completely for free. I'm just mind blown. It's absolutely insane. So I wanted to give you guys the most in-depth, like personal look as if you guys were right here with me. So starting off with the color, this is called Silica White. It's a pretty neat color. Now, as you guys can see, it's very overcast today. There's tons of puddles everywhere, and it has been extremely hard to keep this thing clean. So the white doesn't look as good as it could, but just know that even when it's a little dirty, this thing still looks fantastic. So one thing I do want to say is that the front of this McLaren, actually the overall design of the 570 is probably my favorite. I think the proportions on this are the best in the lineup. Now don't get me wrong, the 720S looks incredible, the new Speedtail looks incredible, the 600 LT even looks incredible, but just as an overall package, I think this is one of the most balanced looking cars. As a matter of fact, you guys see this right here? So here is what is called a Kiwi bird, and the maker of this vehicle actually inspired a lot of the design cues off of that Kiwi bird. So basically, not sure if you guys can see it, but this is supposed to act as the beak of the Kiwi bird, and then it goes into the almost like chubby body of the bird. So minus the legs, this is supposed to be the beak and that's supposed to be the body. At least is what they told me. I can kind of see it, but it may be one of those things where they're kind of just saying it just to sound cool. But anyways, I thought it was pretty neat. Now coming to the front of the 570S, I love that menacing look on this thing. So you do have LED lights on here. The LED lights look great close up. They even look good from afar. So when you see this thing coming in your mirror and everything, it just looks so mean, so aggressive. I love how the lines are more simplistic. There's not tons of lines flowing like this. You just have one line here, one line there, and you can really tell how it just works so well without being almost without trying too hard. Now down here, you're going to have ducts. Now they're both going to lead to this vent right here, but you have one inlet here and then you have one inlet right there. So basically, these two are going to lead to that same little duct right here. And then what's gonna happen is the air is gonna come out of here, right back here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's a little dark back there. You can kind of see it. So half of the air is gonna come out here, half of the air is actually gonna come here. So this is gonna cool the brakes. This is gonna flow air around the car, and then as it gets to this really narrow part, it's basically going to act as sort of like a vacuum effect. So the air is going to just like compress into here. It's going to accelerate down the side of the car faster into that intake, and then you have the air that comes up top, and that's basically going to flow all the way here right into the intake, and then any air that's going to miss this massive intake is going to flow right down this side of the body into this built-in spoiler right here, as you guys can see right there. But yeah, so the aerodynamics on here are functional, and then of course you have heat coming out of here as well as air coming over the top into there. It's gonna flow right out of this guy right there, and then the air that goes into the side is actually going to be released through this right here. So really cool engineering. So my favorite thing about McLaren is that they build everything with a purpose. Now, I'm not saying Ferrari and Porsche and Lamborghini don't do the same thing, but McLaren is just my favorite when it comes to just true sports supercars. I just think they make some of the best looking vehicles. Now coming to the wheels, you have Pirelli P0s tires on here, and they look pretty good. Got this red brake calipers. You guys can see once again everything's a little bit dirty, but they're cross drilled. Really good size looking wheels. 570S badge down here. Now I like the mirrors. I know it sounds kind of funny, but you can even see how much of like a cool design feature is in the mirror. Looks really neat. It almost looks like it's being held by like a hand like that. I like that a lot. And then the rear tires are going to be 285/35. Once again, Pirelli P0s, and surprisingly, they stick really well. Now, I don't think it's just the tires. This thing definitely has a ton of mechanical grip, but man, it just does a great job. You guys will see that a little bit later. Now, this is the Spider, so I can't do a walk around of the car without showing you guys what it looks like with the top down. So we'll go ahead and push the button to put the top down, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, and there we go. So that is what it looks like with the top down. This thing looks awesome. Now the best part about the Spider is that it loses virtually 0 performance figures compared to the coupe, but you get the open air experience, and it looks really neat. And because it is a little bit of a tight cabin, I wanted to have the roof down to show you guys what the inside looks like. But it looks beautiful. Love the way this thing looks. So now opening the door is a little bit difficult if you don't know where the button is. So basically the button is going to be, not sure if you guys can see it, right there. So there's a little button right here. I'm gonna push that and then lift up on the doors. It does have the dihedral doors, so they do open up in the beautiful swan wing fashion. Now you do have corresponding buttons here. So that's going to be to open the little cover in the back. So you can't even see the engine, so if I push that, all it does is open this little guy. And you can put some water and oil in there, and that's about it. So if you own this car, no looking at the engine for you. But it's pretty neat how you do have these little buttons here on the side. You do have a Bowers & Wilkins audio system, so you guys can see it says Bowers & Wilkins there. Love the speakers. Now, one reason they chose to go with Bowers & Wilkins is because the Kevlar speakers in here are actually the lightest in the industry. So they chose that because weight is the enemy with McLaren. You have a little pocket here. It's actually pretty deep. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's pretty deep in there. It's nicely lined in leather. Really, really nice. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. So as you guys can see, this does have the carbon monocoque. Now you can't actually see the carbon. Unfortunately, it is wrapped in carpet right here, but it is a carbon fiber monocoque. And it's just crazy how you can see like the suspension here, or at least the strut for the door. And then you can see how close the wheel is to the seat. Like literally, it's so close. It's nuts. Now, one thing to give you guys a good perspective. So I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the camera like basically at my eye level. And if I come to the top of the seat, not even the bottom of the seat, the top of the seat, and I line it all the way here, it literally goes up like halfway, it goes halfway up my shin. So if you're 6 feet tall, put your fingers halfway up your shin, and that is where the top of the seat on the McLaren is. It's pretty nuts. And of course, who doesn't love red seat belts? With red stitching to match, your McLaren symbol embossed up top. And I just love these big haunches here in the back. It looks absolutely amazing. Loving the seat design on these. Once again, more red stitching. And they're pretty well bolstered, so you guys can see from the side. We've got good shoulder bolstering, good side bolstering, good thigh bolstering. Your McLaren logo down here on the carpet. And you have aluminum pedals, which look amazing. Now your parking brake is going to be here, so I'll show you guys in just a second how that's gonna work with everything else. And yeah, so let's go ahead and hop in. And of course, shutting the door is very easy. I love the fact that the window's down. It's pretty neat. Okay, so starting with the steering wheel, you have an Alcantara steering wheel. Very simple, no buttons, nothing on it, just beautiful exposed matte carbon. You've got the Alcantara running all along the side. Now, of course, McLaren, once again, is all about saving weight, so they went with Alcantara because it's lighter than leather. And when you're on the track and you have gloves on, it does come in handy to have a little bit more grip on this versus leather. Even if you're not using gloves, sweaty hands is not a good thing when you're driving a car like this. You can see the paddles here are carbon fiber as well. One cool thing about the paddles, they go either way, so up, and I can actually push back to downshift, so you guys can kind of see it like toggles back and forth, so sort of like a rocker. It's really, really neat. Coming over here, you have your window switches. Now this is going to be how you open the door. You pull this tab, and then you push out, and that's going to open your door for you. So there you go. Now back here you're going to have your switch, and that's going to control some of the items here in the screen. So let me go ahead and turn the car on. Your start button is right there in the center console, so of course foot on the brake, and you're going to push that right here to start. Yes. Best part about having this drop top experience. Now the engine does take a little bit of time to warm up. As it's warming up, it won't let you go past a certain RPM. So for example, if I push this active button, which is how you're going to be able to put in track mode, and I switch this all to track, you guys can see the 7 and the 8 are red. This revs to about 8,500. So once it's warmed up, this will turn white and that will turn white, and then you're good to get on it as much as you want. So that's a pretty neat thing right there for sure. Now, continuing on, so once again, this stock is going to be used to raise and lower the car. So if I push it up, you do have a lift system on here to help you get over curbs and things like that. It also acts as a little toggle for your menus here. Now, one cool thing about this, I actually got about 32 miles a gallon on the way from Dallas to Fort Worth, which is insane. And I was cruising at like maybe 70 the entire way. There was a little bit of traffic, but other than that, it was extremely impressive. So you guys can see all the menus here. Very cool stuff. And then you even have your camera, which is a little foggy, but that's my backup camera. You can pull that up at any time. And then, yes. So, parking brake. I told you guys I was going to get to that. So basically the parking brake is your actual park. So this doesn't have a park button anywhere, as you guys can see here. So you have to put it in neutral and then turn on your parking brake. And if you want to go into drive, you got to turn off your parking brake, put it into drive, and then that's how you do your thing right there. Your blinkers over here. Your lights are going to be right behind there. Over here to the right, you do have automatic wipers, which is nice. So all the way down is off, and then up one time, there you go, is auto. This is going to be your cruise control. Very, very simple to work. So basically tap up when you want to set it, and then you can adjust by doing that. Turn it on, cancel, basically like any other car company that uses this style cruise control. And then you're going to have your mirror adjustment right back here. And you do have parking sensors, and you can push that to turn your parking sensors off. And if you turn this all the way down, that will fold in your mirrors just like that. It's pretty cool stuff. Now coming to the screen, it's pretty simplistic. So you have a bunch of readouts, which is nice. So you guys can see here. Now if you do switch modes, so if I threw this into track mode, it is going to change your screen right there. So basically going between normal, sport, and track. Normal and sport are the same, and then track is going to give you this really cool, almost P1 style look. Ooh, yeah, super cool. And over here to the right, you have your fuel, temperature, all that good stuff. So that's pretty neat. You have a tweeter right up here for your sound system. Don't mind this, this is just for my GoPro for later. Your air vents right here. You've got more carbon fiber coming along here, and it looks awesome. I love the weave on this carbon fiber. This looks so cool. Now the screen, you guys can see it has a ton of glare on it. That's the only thing I don't like about it, but for the most part it's pretty easy to use. So if I click my media, it's pretty self-explanatory. One cool thing I like is when you click the climate button, it has a little race car guy right here, which is kind of funny. Then you have your heated seats. That's going to be your menu right there, and then your navigation, your back button, voice commands, mute, and then settings right here. And it's kind of like a floating tablet design, so you guys can see how that looks right there. 570S badge way back there. You have sort of a cup holder here, a little area to put things right there. More beautiful looking carbon fiber coming along here. Your launch mode. Now active is once again how you put the car into its different driving modes. If you turn off active, it basically goes into a normal automatic mode all the time. So if you want to do anything other than like a normal mode, you have to click active, and then you can switch between track, sport, normal, and then you can do your suspension, track, sport, normal. So this is suspension, transmission. And then manual is going to be if you want to shift yourself. Hit that to turn it off to have the computer shift for you. ESC is interesting. It took me a while to figure it out, but you hit it once, that will pop up, which is funny because it's actually a little 570S. And then you hold it, press and hold again after that symbol is on. It'll tell you to confirm ESC off, hit it one more time, and then that will actually turn everything off. And that's what you have to do in order to engage your launch mode. So launch, what you would do then is you would hit launch. It'll say waiting full throttle, then you would put your foot in the brake, fully floor it, and then you would take off. But we're not gonna do that right now, obviously, so I'm gonna throw it back into neutral and put that back on. Now, coming back here, you do have automatic start-stop, which is nice. Drive, neutral, reverse, locks, front trunk, your rear window, which is cool. So if you do have the top up, you have a rear window back here that you can put up and down. So if you have the top up and you want to hear the engine, you can put that up and down. And of course, when you have the top down and you want to mitigate some of the wind, you can use this as well. Hazards, and then that is how you operate the top right here. You guys saw that earlier. Another little area to put like a bottle or something there, but it's not very deep and it doesn't do a very good job holding anything. The world's tiniest armrest that literally fits one arm. Lift that up and you have a decent amount of storage space. USB, 3 USBs in there. I don't know why they have 3, but you do, and then you have an auxiliary right there. You also have a little net here in the back. It's kind of cool. And yeah, that's honestly pretty much it for the interior of the car. Auto dimming mirrors. The lights are LEDs, and one cool thing about them is if you press and hold them, they get brighter, 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 and then they'll eventually go like dim, which is kind of cool. So that is a neat little thing right there. But that is pretty much it for the inside of the car. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the exterior, and then we'll take it for a drive. All right, so under the hood of the 570S, of course you have your trunk because the engine is going to be in the back. You guys pretty much know this by now, so forgive me if I'm repeating information that you already know. But yeah, so once it's popped, you just lift this open, and there's actually a good amount of space. I mean, I can fit lots of things in there, like my sweater, my backpack, a little mug, and all kinds of things. So it's actually a very good size. And if I get a little bit closer, you guys can see you have a little light here. You even have a 12 volt right back here. Which is kind of neat. You have a little net here to put things in. And here's all my stuff. So it's actually pretty deep, pretty spacious. So you can definitely fit 1 or 2 decent sized carry-ons in here, no issue. And I think the best part is closing it is very easy. So once it's shut, you just barely give it some pressure, and then there you go. All right, so one other cool thing I wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure if you can see in here, but check out that. That is such a big intake, and you can't even really tell because when you close it, you have that sort of like tendon that runs right in front of it. And it makes it look like it's one small one and then a small one here, but it's actually just one big one, which is pretty neat. Now, one other thing I didn't show you guys is the exhaust on here. So this does have the sports exhaust, and I'll let you guys go ahead and listen to that. But yeah, so as you guys can see, this thing sounds incredible. And then you've got that massive diffuser right down there, which looks super nice. And yeah, this is just an overall good looking car. Now the back, probably my least favorite. I still think it looks incredible, but I think just all the black is a little interesting to me. I'm not sure if I like it, but I don't hate it. I'm kind of just right in the middle with it. But yeah, you guys, I'm super excited to get it on the road. I'm sure you guys are super excited to see what it's like to really drive this thing for more than like an hour. So let's go ahead and get it on the road. What is up, you guys? So, driving the McLaren 570S Spider 2019. Man, now, once again, you guys have seen videos over the 570S. It has not changed a lot since it came out, other than the addition of the new Spider and the addition of the 600 LT, which now sits as the range-topping version of this car. It's basically the same 570S. But being a supercar and being the car that it is still just as fun. This thing is absolutely incredible. So I have it in automatic mode right now, just kind of cruising along. But man, once you get this thing up and going, it is such a beast. Even in these conditions, it is soaking wet outside right now. And this still has hydraulic steering. There's not many cars on the market now that still have hydraulic steering. So the crazy part is once you get behind the wheel, it freaks you out at first because the car starts moving with every single crease that is in the road. At first, it feels unnatural, it feels a little strange, but then once you get used to it, you realize that that's how steering is supposed to feel. It feels so direct, and I don't think I've ever had a steering feel that makes me feel more connected to a car than in this thing. Even when I drove the 720S, you guys can click the card up in the right hand corner to check out my video when I drove the 720S, but even that car didn't have this good of steering. I think my favorite feature about this car is this window in the back. So I can roll it down and it lets in just a little bit more engine noise. So you guys can probably hear that, but it's a pretty significant difference. So if I roll it up and I'm gonna put it into active, take over shifting myself, it's pretty decent. You can hear it. You can still hear the turbo whistle. You can still hear all of that good stuff. But once you roll the window down, it it goes at least a couple of decibels higher, so check this out. Yeah, it sounds awesome. I've gotten so many people subscribed to the channel literally because of this car. So I mean, thank you McLaren for sending me this, because I'm pretty sure I got like 50 subscribers that came up to me just because I had this car this week. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, guys, so I will say the most exciting thing about having this for 4 days was taking all of my friends out for a drive in it.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Golly.
Dirty grip, bro.
Good Lord.
Oh my God. Wow. That is fast.
Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right then, Brian O'Connor.
Alright, so I'm here getting gas for the McLaren. Pop this open. It is capless, as you guys can see there. Premium only, obviously, so we have 93 octane here in Texas. So I'm gonna fill her up and let you guys know how much it costs. Alright, so the gas costs $35.29. Once again, not bad for what, $2.38? One thing I forgot to mention is on about a 20-mile trip, I averaged 31.8 miles per gallon. Well, that's it, guys. That is all my time with the McLaren 570S. Once again, massive, massive thank you to McLaren Dallas for just helping make this entire thing possible. I'm so grateful, I'm so blessed. I'm gonna take a few hours, kind of contemplate everything, and then I wanna give you guys my final thoughts on what I thought of living with the 570S. Well, you guys, that's gonna wrap up my time with the McLaren 570S Spider. This is seriously one of the most engaging vehicles I've ever driven in my life. I mean, that's not even an understatement. It is so incredibly good, and for being an entry-level McLaren, this is probably one of the best McLarens in terms of just being the best overall sports car. This does compete obviously with the Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet, and I would choose this over that any day. Even though there's about a $30,000 difference, I would still take this McLaren just because of the sheer excitement, the visceral experience that it gives you, and the fact that it is a through and through supercar. It handles incredibly well. It sounds absolutely amazing. It's super fast. And of course, everyone that gets inside of this thing absolutely enjoys it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all take care, and I look forward to seeing y'all next review. Subscribe if you have not already, and give me a huge thumbs up. See you guys next time.